Hey guys, Def Crazy Tech here. So this channel has been noticed and considered as an Apple biased channel. But to counter that, here are 10 things that I absolutely hate about Apple. Want to know when every new video comes out by Def Crazy Tech? Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get videos on your notification feed every day. The first reason why I don't think Apple is perfect is that, first of all, their inconsistency of their products. So what I'm talking about that is the apps that will run on their products are not consistent through all of them. One example that I have is the iPad mini. It does not have a native stocks app, a native calendar app. No, it does have a calendar, but it doesn't have a calculator or a weather app. Why not? I don't know. It doesn't have any of those things, and it doesn't even have a compass either. But the thing is, what would be really nice if they added is a weather app. Think of this, a bigger interface of a weather app on an iPad display. There's no reason they haven't added it yet. It's kind of like a troll, like they're kind of just trolling us. Although in the newest update, I believe they are adding stocks to the iPad in iOS 12, so that's good. Another thing I do not like about Apple is one company that they own, and this company is Beats. Holy heck, I have had the worst experience with Beats. They are not worth it. Do not buy them. They are overpriced. I bought some of these, or my dad bought them, and they cost $100. But something that looked exactly the same as these cost $30. And these don't even have high quality. They will go out like within 11 months of using them. So I hate that. Also, in their keynotes, they will have so much gibberish that is not needed. Just like in the event where they unveiled iOS 12, watchOS 5, and all those software updates, they basically just talked about like AR for so much of the keynote, when I think they really could have unveiled some products that were just not ready yet. But that's the thing they're trying to do. They're trying to wait until everything is ready. Because like with AirPower, that we saw that is pretty much gone. The newest rumors are saying that the iPad Pro will have a smart connector next to the Lightning port, so every single time you want to type on it, you'll have to go, it'll be vertical, so that'll just look kind of like a unicorn. Just really ugly and really weird, and I really hope that doesn't happen. But another thing, the iPads, just the iPads. So I get the point of having like a cheap iPad, but the primary new feature of that was buying a $100 stylus. So it didn't have a laminated display, but it had a stylus, or the Apple Pencil. This is really hypocritical when they're making the iPad called a budget iPad, and it's $330. It would be budget if you didn't have to buy something $100 extra just to use their new feature. Another thing that I don't really get the point of, the HomePod. So it's $350 for a speaker. It's a very good speaker, but you guys saw yesterday's video. There is a speaker that I have that's cheaper, and it sounds better, and it's louder. Plus, if I want some kind of like assistant to like turn on my lights and stuff, I could either use my phone, or I could buy an Echo Dot or a Google Home Mini, because it's so much cheaper. Another thing that they're selling right now that I do not like is, another thing that they're doing is, so you know how some of the Apple Watch displays were popping off? People were reporting that. I hate that they were charging people for something that wasn't their fault. It was Apple's fault. It was a design defect, not something they did. Well, some of their new attempts, well, I guess not new, but like they're trying to do Apple Music Connect. Have you ever heard that? There's a section on that that's supposed to be kind of like social media, but they're not good at social media. They need to stop trying social media. Remember Google Plus? You can't just force. That's another example of, they had to include that with YouTube to make it seem like it was actually getting users, when in reality it wasn't. So that's really sad. So they're spending some of their time in something that they're not good at, and something that they could like be spending on other things. Their failed attempts at keeping their promises on apps, and their hypocrisy. So the AirPower, it hasn't been released, so it's still technically 2018, but they said early 2018. It's not really early 2018 anymore, and it's probably just never going to come out. So they said it would come out, but that's why they have to be careful. They can't really they have to be careful about what they're releasing. But so another example is their Mighty Mouse. That is still on their website for $50, and this has like a wired connection. It still costs the same amount of money, and this was before the Magic Mouse, like the first one. So this was like 10 years ago. It was so old, and they're still selling it. Next is the fact that you cannot change your video resolution directly in the camera app. So an example is the newest iPhones came with 4K at 60 frames a second, but you cannot change that directly in the camera app, but you can change that in iMovie. All you have to do is just tap on the little frame rate button, and it'll scroll through all of them. So why can't they just do that in the camera app? They still haven't done it, and there's no reason to keep it the way it is. They need to change this. Did they just forget about it, or what's happening? They don't sell a wireless charger from themselves, and this might just sound really apple sheep of what I just said, but I'll give you a reason why I hate that. So the outlet, like plugs that plug into the wall, on my Mophie wireless charger is always way too big, so it takes up way too much space on the outlet, when they could just sell one themselves, and every single time they sell something themselves, it actually fits on the outlet. So they need to sell a wireless charger themselves, and I would buy it just so I would have more space on my outlet. Next is their naming of products. So rumors are saying that their phones are going to be called iPhone 9, iPhone 10, and iPhone 10 Plus, or iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Plus. But there are also rumors of this new 6.1-inch LCD iPhone that's coming out next year to just be called iPhone. So if they call it that, we'll have to refer to it as 6.1-inch LCD iPhone 2018 every single time, and it's way consistent. And another thing is, when they brought out the new iPad Pros, they could have had that be just called iPad Air 3 and continued the design and just add all that stuff, but then it wouldn't be an iPad Pro. There wouldn't be two iPad Pros. And then the MacBook Air, they should have just, when they refreshed and made the MacBook 13-inch and the 15-inch, the 13-inch should have just become the new MacBook Air. But instead, they called it MacBook Pro 13-inch. So everyone that's saying, why aren't they making a new MacBook Air? They already have. It's just called the MacBook Pro 13-inch. So even though Apple is a good company for the ecosystem, one problem with them is that the colors of their products do not match on anything. So this Apple Watch came in rose gold and space gray, the new ones, and then it also came in white and gray ceramic. But then the iPhone 10 came in white and gray. But then the iPhone 8 Plus and 8 came in gold, silver, black, space gray, and yeah, so it came in those three colors. So like, they're not consistent across the ecosystem. And then if you want like a space gray product, they do not carry Max in that color unless you buy the $5,000 plus iMac Pro. Another thing that I hate about them, or I guess it's in the same category, but another example are the AirPods. They will just not carry them in space gray. So if you're trying to make a space gray ecosystem, that will never work because they don't carry them. There are companies that are literally made to customize your color of your AirPods. So they should recognize that and add it to theirs too, so they can make that money. Some people will pay $300 just to have their AirPods called be black. And this website is called BlackPods and also Colorware. This video, I was not trying to make everyone think that I'm fake, that I'm trying to make a fake video just to make it. I was trying to say that Apple is not perfect, and no other company is perfect either. So thank you guys for watching, and that's been it. Goodbye.